Sammy said, opinion, there is a rate and they just not ready to show it yet, but it's getting close with the budget tables and oil coming. Frank, we're also looking for a printing of the budget. Baghdad comments on Washington's threats not to resume Kurdistan oil exports. Quote, the Iraqi government denied, on Saturday, all media reports that claimed that the United States threatened to impose sanctions on Iraq if oil exports from the Kurdistan region were not resumed. Reuters quoted 8 sources in Baghdad, Washington and Erbil, who have direct knowledge of the issue, as saying that increasing pressure from the new U.S. administration was a major driver behind the Iraqi oil minister's announcement last Monday that exports from the region would resume next week. We haven't seen an exchange rate change. We haven't seen the oil pump and we haven't seen salaries, yet. The Central Bank of Iraq, CBI, has announced General Tender No. 1/2025 for the supply, installation, and operation of 65 currency counting and sorting machines for its branches in Basra, 35 units, and Mosul, 30 units. Here we have another example of Iraq spending billions to build out a state-of-the-art banking system. The $64,000 question is, when do we get to profit from these infrastructure expenditures? Expected visit of the central bank governor to Sulaymaniyah, are you serious? You're putting a new banking economic center? Why? You never have in the decades that I can remember. Why? Your rate of your currency is 1310. You don't need this banking economic center in Erbil. Why are you doing this? Because there is a change in the banking structure system of Iraq. Huge amounts of chatter this weekend. Tons of rumors about this weekend. We will see what surfaces. We know there is a lot of excited wealth management, redemption contacts and bond folks as of this morning. Lots of people in place but have not heard from group contacts yet this morning. I am confident we are close, just not certain this is the weekend or not. European Union to Sabah. We praise the reforms of the Sudanese government. Quote, we support Iraq in joining the World Trade Organization, WTO, which is necessary, among other things, to harmonize Iraqi laws with international standards. Trump gives Baghdad a choice. Export Kurdistan's oil or face sanctions like Iran. The Ministry of Oil announces the completion of procedures to resume the export of Kurdistan oil through the port of Ceyhan. This is good news. Lots of good oil news out of Kurdistan so far today. I think they already have the rate, but they will continue to keep it under wraps until the very last second, but we need Turkey to confirm this news. Television says President Trump threatens Iraq to speed up transfer of oil pipeline or will suffer sanctions like Iran. Frank, that is 100% correct. The reason my president is saying that to Iraq is because Iran threatened to attack you. Iraq is and my president is trying to speed things up so you Iraq can be in a position to be powerful over your enemies. If not, we both lose and Iraqi citizens lose their purchasing power. There must be a date. Optimism about the opening of Rafidin and Rashid Bank branches in the region to stimulate the economy and attract investors. They are talking about adding another 26-28 branches. They are closer and closer to their reforms. There has to be a breakthrough soon. Iraq cannot continue indefinitely like this. They have set up the banking system for international transactions. Everything is actually in place to do business with the rest of the world. The only question is when, not if, will they complete the currency reform as planned. I know redemption centers received additional USTN currency. They've received additional shrink-wrap bundles of our new USTN currency in addition to what they already had. I can tell you why I think that is because, remember, I told you guys, they don't want us to take more than $500 in our new cash, our new USTN folding money. Well, they just upped that a couple of days ago to, we don't want you to take more than $3,000 in cash that would come out of our total at the time of our appointment, cashing or exchanging our currencies. The Prime Minister's advisor for economic affairs, Mazhar Mohammad Saleh, confirmed today, Saturday, that banking reform in Iraq requires enhancing transparency and governance in the banking sector. Saleh said in a statement to Al Farat news agency, the operations carried out by banks operating in Iraq depend largely on the confidence of international correspondent banks in the local banking sector, which necessitates the need to provide great protection for Iraqi banks. He pointed out that the reform process must ensure that Iraqi banks are provided with the best transparency and governance tools, in addition to adopting the necessary applications to confront various risks and comply with international banking rules. He added, "These measures are what everyone is looking forward to in the near future, to achieve stability and growth of the Iraqi banking sector and integrate it effectively into the international banking market." The head of the National State Forces Alliance, Mr. Ammar al-Hakim, confirmed today, Saturday, that Iraq today is experiencing an unprecedented state of security, political and social stability, noting that this stability represents a great achievement for the country in light of the challenges it has gone through. In a statement issued by his media office, received by Al-Farat News, Mr. al-Hakim stated that the Iraqi community in the United States of America was the focus of a meeting he held with a delegation from the community headed by Martin Manna, head of the Chaldean Association in Michigan, where the meeting discussed the situation of the Iraqi community in America and the developments in the political situation in Iraq and the region. Mr. al-Hakim also reiterated his emphasis that Christians constitute a qualitative addition to Iraqi society, stressing the importance of managing diversity in Iraq and investing in Iraqi components as bridges of communication between Iraq and the countries of the region. The head of the National State Forces Alliance also stressed the necessity of moderation and centrism, noting that Iraq's interest lies in containing and opening up to everyone, with the importance of giving priority to the public interest in facing challenges. He pointed out that Iraq succeeded in dealing with crises thanks to the coordination between the religious authority and the government and the cooperation of the Iraqi people. Member of the Parliamentary Oil and Gas Committee, Ali al-Mashkour, revealed today, Saturday, the details of a financial settlement agreement between the federal government in Baghdad and the Kurdistan Regional Government, following the decision of the Ministry of Oil to export oil through the Seyhan crossing. Al-Mashkour said in a statement to Al-Maluma agency that oil export operations from the region will be carried out under the supervision of SOMO, the company responsible for marketing Iraqi oil, in order to ensure the transfer of all financial revenues to the federal government, in line with the recent agreement between Baghdad and Erbil. He added, "There are financial settlements between the federal government and the Kurdistan region regarding the revenues of exported oil, as these amounts will be deducted from the financial dues allocated to the region, either through the advance mechanism or through specific and agreed